So here I add a value, locked is 0. I put a value locked is 0 here, okay? And then, and I have the for loop, okay, run through this, so actually this is this if statement, and then at the end of this for loop, we're going to add 1 to the number of values that are locked in place. Okay, so we add 1 to the number of values that are locked in place, and so that works. Okay, and how many swaps do I need to perform? The number of swaps I need to perform will be the length of x minus 1 minus how many values are locked in position, right? So the first sweep, I have to do, if it's length 5, I have to do 4 of them because none of them are locked. On the second sweep, I only have to do 3 comparisons because one of them is locked. I do 5 minus 1 minus 1, 3 comparisons to do, okay? All right, is this all right? So this is how we can check to make sure that the, so we increase the number of positions that are locked with each iteration here. Okay, and so we do that. And so here's an important thing. Notice that the loop that I did was for I in sequence length of x minus 1 minus locked, okay? It might be tempting to just do 1 colon the number, right? So you say n is length of x minus 1 minus locked, and you can do 1 colon n, right? And that sequence length and 1 colon n are often the same things most of the time, except when n is 0, right? When this thing equals 0, for the last iteration, the number of swaps I have to do is actually 0, right? And if you had 1 colon 0, this is actually going to be a vector, and it's going to cause problems because it's going to try to subset to I is 1, and then I at the next iteration it's going to be like 0 or something. It causes an issue, right? So sequence length 0 is going to be a 0 length vector, which means that for loop just isn't going to run, okay? And so strongly recommend using sequence length or sequence along to handle situations where you get 0 length vectors, okay? Otherwise, 1 colon 0 is going to cause problems here, okay? So anyway, we got this, we try this out. Here's a random sample of 40 values. We run it through the code, and does it sort it, 1 through 40? It does, okay? So that looks good to us. And so now that the code works and you can do a few more tests, we're ready to put it in a function. So I just take all of this code and I just wrap it inside a function. I say bubble sort is function of x, and I just put a curly brace there and a curly brace there, okay? And then I test it out. I say let's sample 100 values, put 100 values in random order, and I do bubble sort x, and nothing happens. So what did I do wrong? I didn't return a value, right? So every function, the only way to get values out of a function is by returning a value. So all I have to do is just add the return value here. I can type in return x, or I can just put x as the very last line inside the function, and now it will sort the vector 1 through 100. Okay, so that's great. Okay, I hope this is kind of illustrative in terms of some strategies as far as writing a function. Okay, so again, break down your task into smaller tasks. Don't start building the function right away, right? Work in the global environment. You write your code. When something breaks, check the values in the global environment to figure out where things are going wrong, okay? Every time you do something, clear the environment, right? Clear the environment so that you're not dealing with values from your previous run, okay? Always add to your code incrementally, and then test each change before you're moving on to the next part, okay? A couple tips on efficiency. All right, when you're drafting your code, I would say work with a script file. At the top of your script file, just put in rm list equals ls, all right? And this will automatically clear the global environment for you every time you source your code, okay? When you make changes, just you can source them quickly by doing Control or Command Shift S, and then as you run into errors, you can investigate them directly in the console. All right, and that's going to make your life better. Okay, so here we go. That's what we do. Okay, so work on your script here, and that's what we got. All right, I'm gonna have office hours from 4 to 5, and we'll see you guys on Friday. We'll talk about environments and scope, and you can expect your next homework assignment to appear shortly.